Good Erev Shabbos, and welcome to our weekly Torah Anytime. Shari Tefillah Shabbos Malchus Hashir. Today's share is being given as a schus for a Shalom of Cindy Bas Hester, Chaim Shmuel ben Leah Yocheved, Sar Yechiel Nasim ben Sar Yechiel Ephraim Simcha ben Shapsi Rachel, Henya Bas Golda, Harav Yosef ben Sion ben Kela, Zelda Fega Bas Chaya Henya, Chava Bas Sima. May our learning and enhanced Kavod Shabbos that our learning should bring be a schus for Shalom for our cholim, and a mazel tov to Shandi and Yosef Fishman on the birth of a baby boy, our grandson, and everyone is invited to the Shalom Zacher tonight. Last week we discussed the idea of that Shabbos is a matana. There is very little that needs to be done for a matana. For all the other Yom Tovim, there are actions that need to be done. Lulavim have to be shook. A sukkah has to be sat in. Matzah has to be eaten. We have to do things on a Yantiv. But Shabbos, there is nothing to do. There is no specific mitzvah except for one. That one mitzvah is Zochar Yom HaShabbos L'Kasha. We have a mitzvah to remember Shabbos the entire day, not to do anything that will take our mind away from Shabbos. That's the idea of Uvda D'Chol. Even if it's not a malacha, even if it's not one of the 39 malachos, we're not allowed to do weekday type activities which will make us forget even for a moment that it's Shabbos Kodesh. It's the same thing though with a gift. The idea of a gift is you have to show you appreciate it. If you don't appreciate it, it's as if you're throwing the gift back in the face of the one that gave it to you. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us this gift of Shabbos, and we show our appreciation by thinking about it, being machshav it, and using it to the best of our ability the entire day. So we're on page Pei, and we're 3 paragraphs in. V'ksiv v'shamar b'nei Yisrael es haShabbos. The Torah says that we have to guard the Shabbos. La'asos as a Shabbos. Through guarding the Shabbos, it says if we're doing the Shabbos. What does that mean? We're guarding and therefore we're doing. Guarding is a negative. Don't do something. Protect. La'asos is we're doing. It's a positive. Hainu da'al yedei shmira greda havikilu asu as a Shabbos. Through just a shmira, through just being careful, not doing the wrong thing, we're doing something. We're la'asos as a Shabbos. We're making the Shabbos. We don't make the Shabbos. Hashem gives us the Shabbos, but when we protect it, we're as if we're doing it. Avala'amito shel davar hi kulo yom shel matana. There's nothing we have to do. Shabbos is a matana. Everything comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'matnas chinam mishamayim. It's a matana. It's a purely free matana that comes to us mishamayim. We don't need anything else. Shabbos he kedusha mitzido yisbarach k'moshe nemra. Shabbos is a kedusha on its own, directly from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. All the Yom Tovim are vehicles to get closer to Kedusha Shemayim. Shabbos is Kedusha Shemayim. This is our avoda. This is what we have to do on this awesome holy day. Shabbos Kodesh. B'meshach kol yom, throughout the entire day. Lizkor es HaShabbos. What do we have to do? What is our job? Remember it's Shabbos. Hainu, shelo dasiach hadas mimeno. Not to take our mind off of it for a moment. Liyagin in Shabbos. Ligin in Shabbos. To live in Shabbos. To be in Shabbos. Lios munach besoch machshavos haShabbos. To be sitting in the machshava constantly that it is Shabbos. Bachilaso. B'shtiso. B'tiyulo. When you're eating, you're drinking, you're walking around. You are at the shulchan that is in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu the entire time. All 24 hours. Shabbos, Tosefes Shabbos, and the extra time that's put into Shabbos. Omidhu livnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are standing in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bib Poel, in actuality. in a completely different way than any other of the 6 days of the week. It is a whole different day, it's a whole different matzav, and we are completely different people in a different world. And we have to remember that for the entire 24 plus hours. Ad she'im nirtza lahagdir es haShabbos nemar al langa shmona esrei. There are those who wanted to explain Shabbos as follows: one long Shmona Esrei. What is Shmona Esrei? A connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're talking directly to the Bari Olam. That's Shabbos. Tfilas Amida Aruka, a long tefillah. Hainu, Matzav shall omed lifnei HaMelech b'pol b'meshach kol yom. A situation we are standing in front of the Melech in actuality all day long. The avodas ha'adam hi. What is our avodah? What are we supposed to be doing in actuality? What is our job on Shabbos? Simple. Lizkor shekachi hametzius lishmor shelo lechal es hamatzav hazeh. To remember, this is our situation right now. We have to guard our matzav, our level, our position this day. Not to let anything slip. Not to forget for a moment the Kedusha that surrounds us this entire day. Not to forget the fact that we are in the presence of the Rebbeinu Shalom all day long. Shirim. We sing Zmiros about that. Kamo, Shabbos Hayom Hashem. Oh, Shabbos, Shabbos, Shabbos. Mashalo Shirim bePesach, Pesach, Pesach. You don't sing on any yontiv about the day itself. Oh, Chadama, V'chein, Kol Zmiros bePesach, Arayim Binyan Yitzias Mitzrayim. Everything we sing on Pesach is about Yitzias Mitzrayim, not about the holiday itself. Rosh Hashanah, Binyan Malchus Shemayim. On Rosh Hashanah we sing about Karibon. Kadosh Baruch Hu is the master of the world. We sing Hashem Yimloch, Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach. We sing of Kadosh Baruch Hu's Malchus. Of our Shabbos, Rov HaPiyutim Heim Be'inyan Shabbos Atzma. Most of the piyutim, most of the compositions on Shabbos are about Shabbos. The day. The day itself is something to sing about. It's not a day that we remember something else. The day itself is something to sing about. Yom Zeh Mechubad Mikol Yomim. This is the day that is honored above all other days. Shahamatzah b'Pesach hi mitzvah achila v'lo zechira. Eating the matzah is a mitzvah of achila, of eating, not zechira, not remembering. Ava b'Shabbos, the Iker mitzvahs Shabbos. That is the main mitzvah of Shabbos. Lizkor es Shabbos, to remember the Shabbos. Maskiras HaShabbos b'memela kedusha gedola v'shefa brachos b'matana min hashamayim. And the kedusha of Shabbos comes on its own as a matana, and the shefa, the bracha that comes to us from Shemayim is also a matana. Ha'ara, kasher, just a side point. Kasher magdirin magdishin as a hevdel ben kedusha Shabbos and kedusha moadim. When we chart out the difference between kedusha of Shabbos and the kedusha of the Yom Tovim, tzarich lahosiv nekudat chashuva. We have to add one specific point, one important point. Shahadvarim einam muchlatim kamoshis barasan. It's not exactly as we're saying right now. V'zebim shigam hamoadim nikraim Shabbos b'mixas. Moadim are also called ashtikal Shabbos. There is Shabbos in there. Shigam behem yesh iser malacha v'shrisa. On that day, there is iser malacha and shrisa. Of not doing work. V'chein lahepech. The opposite. Shabbos atzma af hi nemnes ben mikroi kodesh. Shabbos is counted among the mikroi kodesh. B'parshas Emor v'yesh ba milas hamoadim. It has the mila of the moadim also. The aspects of all the Yom Tovim are rolled into Shabbos, whereas the Yom Tovim themselves have a little Shabbos within them. V'imkein. Nivdelis HaShabbos Mikol HaMoadim B'zeh HaMoadim Kedushasim Hi Kedushas HaMitzvos. However, Shabbos is different than all the Yom Tovim because the Kedusha of the Yom Tovim comes from the mitzvos of the Yom Tov. V'yilu HaShabbos Hi Hashar the Kedushas Hashem Yisbarach B'miyuchad. But Shabbos is a shar. It's an opening. It's a gate to HaKadosh Baruch Hu himself. Aval me'achar ve'amoadim havin gam kein Shabbos. Since the Moadim also are a form of Shabbos, yesh b'hem gam kein es hashar l'dvekas hanoros me'ein Shabbos asma. They also have a shar. They also have a gate which can bring them to bring a person through the Yontav to a dvekas, an awesome dvekas with the Kodesh Baruch Hu, just like Shabbos. Even though she'ein behem ka'otzmas ha'shosah, it doesn't have the greatness all of Shabbos of al kopanim. Mitzvah Shabbos yesh behem. It does have a little bit of Shabbos. Ve'hayacholas ha'shrisa shel ha'moadim. The possibility of the shrisa of the moadim. Hen yisod bekedushas hamoadim lo pachas bekedushas hamitzvot shebehem. The yisod of the kedusha of the moadim is no less than the kedusha of the mitzvos that are within the moadim. Va'amna miuchedes hi Shabbos sheba yesh es hashrisa gemura. But Shabbos is different because on Shabbos there is shrisa gemura. Absolute shrisa, complete. We stop from everything. We don't do anything. Afilu mimlachas ochel nefesh. Even ochel nefesh, which are mutter to do a malach for ochel nefesh, which is mutter and yantav, is not mutter on Shabbos. V'im kain batlu kol mechitzos. When we can't do anything, when we have to rely even for tzarech ochel nefesh on Shabbos, we mevatel all the mechitzos, all the separations between us and the Kodesh Baruch Hu. V'ashar pasuach legamrei. The shar, the gate between us and the Kodesh Baruch Hu, is completely open. It's keilu, there is a shar that's open on every yontav. But that shar is only open as much as we can open it through our mitzvos, through our masim. But on Shabbos, we're not the ones that open the shar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the one who opens the shar, and therefore it's complete. Only He can open it completely. Lahasik dvekus gemura, to attain an incredible attachment to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'nora she'ein kamosa b'shum zman o mitzvah acheres. That Shabbos we can attain a closeness to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we can't attain any other time with any other mitzvah. Good Shabbos. Hello, my friends. Good Erev Shabbos. Happy Friday, followed by a wonderful, inspiring, uplifting Shabbos. This week's Torah reading, Parshas Tetzaveh, Hashem commands how we are supposed. Last week we were commanded how to build the Mishkan, the tabernacle in the desert. Now he talks about what to do for the menorah, the candelabra, what to do for the clothing of the Kohanim, the priests that serve in the temple. But the thing I want to ask about this week is the very beginning of the Torah reading. It says, V'yikhu elecha shemen zayis. You should take for yourself a olive oil, zach, completely pure, kasis, beaten lamor, beaten for the candelabra, for the menorah. Lahalos ner tamid, to bring up a constant flame. So, just one word is bothering me. It says, V'yikhu elecha, you should take. It should say you should give. I'm not taking the oil for myself. I'm giving it. I'm using it for the menorah. I'm giving it to God, so to speak. What is this take? So many commentators talk about this. And they say it's a general philosophy when it comes to anything we do for God, anything we do for mitzvahs, commandments in the Torah, we're not giving God anything. He doesn't need us. He doesn't need our mitzvos. He doesn't need us to keep the commandments. It's not for him. It's for us. Anytime we think we're giving, we're actually taking. He's giving us opportunities. Specifically with the menorah, there's a parable that's mentioned in the Medrash, explanations on the Torah. It says that there was a blind man being led home by his arm. A healthy man took a blind man by his arm and helped him get home and walked him through the dark streets at night. When they got to the house, the man who was helping this blind man understood that the blind man knows his way around this house. So he asked the blind man, could you do me a favor before I come in? Could you go in and light the lights? Turn on the lights so I can go in and it's not dark and can see my way around. And the blind man was happy to do so. Did the man who could see really need the blind man to do that? No. But he wanted the blind man to do something for him so the blind man would feel like he's accomplished something. It was for his good. God does this all the time. A friend of mine, when I was discussing this with him, he said he does the same thing. He'll give a child 2 pieces of candy and ask for one back. Purposely to train the child to give and to make the child feel good that he's doing something also. So we learned 2 very important lessons from here. First of all, our relationship with our Creator. Everything He tells us to do, all 613 commandments, as we mentioned last week, all 613 commandments are benefits for us. He's doing us a favor by having us do whatever it is He's asking us. It doesn't benefit Him. He's omnipotent. He's immortal. He doesn't need us. Everything is for our benefit. And the other lesson is, how do we treat each other? Do we bring our friends up and make them feel needed? Or when we do somebody a favor, we bring them down like, you need me to do this for you. A person should do a favor for somebody the same way God gives us the commandments. We're giving Him. He makes it feel like we're giving Him. We're doing mitzvos for Him. We're doing commandments to help God, so to speak, when in actuality, we're not. We're doing it for ourselves. But He wants us to feel that way in order to bring us up, in order for us to make us feel better about ourselves. And we should do the same thing for our fellow man. Good job.